to this full moon ritual session. For this video, we are going to be covering a few different rituals and activities that I like to engage in on or before the full moon. Now, if you're watching this session after the full moon that we have tomorrow, so if you're watching this in the future and you're time traveling here, then I'm going to try my best to keep this as general as possible so that whatever energy of the full moon that you're moving through in your time and place can apply. Okay. So as I mentioned, there are several different aspects to my full moon ritual, but the general theme of this ritual is one of shedding light on any of the dark places that maybe I'm overlooking in my life. So around this time, it can be helpful to begin to take stock and really honestly look at what's going on. So hopefully throughout this video, you'll begin to notice the different ways that I incorporate this theme into my daily life and my personal practice. So just sit back, relax, and we're just gonna have kind of a little spiritual chat here while I bring you along on these rituals, okay? So, first things first, I like to cleanse my space. This cleansing can be done in a few different ways. The first of which is using some kind of smoke, whether that's incense or sage, Palo Santo, or a different herb. Whatever you're using, and when we engage in these rituals, I think it's incredibly powerful and important to set an intention, and especially for something like doing a clearing and using that smoke can be helpful to just have a little mantra. I cleanse and clear this space. I rid this room of any energies that are not serving my highest self. With this smoke, I cleanse this space, transmuting anything that is not in service of my most empowered self and making room for fresh, new energy. You can use different aromatherapy to do clearing. There are plenty of essential oils that are great for clearing. You could use sage essential oil tea tree I find great for this. Combination of those two can be really, really nice. You can use something like white angelica. There's Palo Santo essential oil and all different kinds that you can use for the properties of that essential oil. You can use this in a diffuser or as an aura mist or even a room spray. And I think it can be really powerful, connecting breath, space, inviting a sense of presence. So I think that can be a really helpful way of clearing your space or even clearing your own energy. You can use stones for clearing. Here we have a selenite wand that's great for clearing, pulling the energy out of a space, and it's great for transmuting that energy. So if you're feeling like you just want to cleanse yourself, you can do that here. Run a stone through your aura. You can place little clear quartz points in the palms of your hands, going inward in your receptive hand and then pointing outward in your dominant hand. That's a great way of just clearing your energy body. Great stones for clearing are selenite, kyanite, black kyanite I love using for clearing. You can use tourmaline, black tourmaline. There are all different kinds of stones. Clear quartz is one that you can use, although I like using that more for charging the energy, amplifying it. So the next aspect that I wanted to share is reflection. Just as the moon that we see in the sky is a reflection of the light of the sun, I think it can be incredibly helpful at this time to look inward, do some internal reflection. Sort of seeing what's behind the light that's bouncing off of us, seeing what maybe is underneath, what's on the dark side of the moon. So many cheesy things, but that's okay. I think it can be incredibly empowering to do this kind of deep healing work. Self-awareness takes practice and great courage, and I think knowing yourself, all of the ins and outs, is an act of bravery. great courage and perseverance, and a sort of a ferocity of spirit to want to look inward, to want to shed light on the darker places that might be a little bit harder for you to accept, and to slowly work through the process of moving towards acceptance and ideally, eventually, towards complete self-love. Loving all of those aspects. It's important at this time to celebrate your victories. Where have you felt incredibly empowered? Where have you felt growth spurt? Where have you felt that slow and steady energy, step by step towards your goal, has succeeded in your life? Doing this kind of reflection and looking at it, baldly looking at it in an honest and open way can be really helpful. It's really important that we learn how to celebrate ourselves, saying, this worked. I'll make a note of that. That can be a really nice way of reparenting ourselves. Then you can ruminate on what hasn't worked so well. Maybe you can do your best to see what you could do better next time. This is really important. If we continue doing the same thing, we're going to continue getting the same results. And we're just sort of stuck at that point. So I think the first step is this deep, beautiful, healing self-reflection and the courage to look inward and to say, where has this worked? Where has this not worked? And how can it work better next time? Then I like to light my candle and set my intention. Once you have meditated on this past cycle, be that this past month, the time that's passed since the last full moon, or the time that's passed since the new moon. So a month, 2 weeks, could be 6 months, a year. However you are engaging with this reflection. And during the reflection, it's really helpful to look back at your previous journal entries. I think having a journal is an incredibly powerful tool here, because this really gives us the ability to reflect and not have to rely solely on our memories. We can also look and read what our past selves were moving through, and then we can see how far we've come, what we're still struggling with. It's just a beautiful way of reconnecting with the things that we want and with this beautiful winding, twisting, and turning journey. Strike the match and ignite the flame of intention. With this flame, I call into being my intention, my aim, or my purpose for this month. If you are feeling a little bit lost or maybe unsure about how to set an intention for this moon cycle, you could start with something like, on behalf of my highest, wisest, most empowered and aligned self, in loving comfort and perfect balance, I wish to harness the energy of this full moon to help me clear any blockages that are preventing me from resonating as my most aligned and highest self. Now is a great time to clear your stones and any esoteric tools that you might have. So I like to get all of my stones out and use some incense or a little bit of sage, some kind of smoke, and run my stones through the smoke. There are several different ways of clearing though. For some stones, you can use water, you can use salt, you can even use other stones, placing a necklace, let's say, onto a stone, whether that's a selenite wand or an amethyst cluster or a clear quartz point. That can help clear the energy trapped inside of that piece of jewelry or tool, or even place a stone on top of another stone. So you could just place a little row of stones onto another stone, and that can help to cleanse the energy of those stones. Another way of clearing is using sounds. Sound baths are great for clearing the energy. You can use singing bowls, crystal singing bowls, or Tibetan singing bowls. You can use tuning forks. You could use music. You could use chanting. Music and sound has this beautiful vibration that can help clear the energy and cleanse stones, tools, and jewelry. It can also help clear the energy of a room. And it can help to align and balance your own energy. So sound baths are a great thing for this kind of moon work. The next thing that I like to do is to charge these tools. I like to lay them out in the light of the full moon, so they can bask in that beautiful light. For this, you just want to be conscious of the stones that require specific care. Don't place a water-soluble stone outside if you know you are in an area that gets dewy or misty in the mornings. And you can lay them on a windowsill, or you can lay them underneath the naked sky. The next thing I like to do during these full moon rituals is to make moon water. You can pour some purified water or rainwater or even water from the river into a vessel to charge. It's helpful to charge a large batch and then pour that into smaller vessels as and when you need them throughout the course of the month. You can place stones around or in the water that you'd like to charge the water with. For example, rose quartz, if you're working on calling in self-love or releasing judgment, or maybe inviting in some romance. Then you just want to place that vessel outside or again in a windowsill, just inviting in that strong, powerful energy of the full moon. You can place your hands on that vessel. I like to use a pitcher, or you could use a mason jar or something, mug, whatever you want to use. Place my hands around it and set an intention. I usually like to do a general intention because I make tons of different sprays throughout the month with the water. But I'll place my hands around it and just set an intention for my highest and wisest self to be used throughout the month in my personal energy practice. And the next day, you can pour that water into a little spray bottle, add some essential oils, and that's a great way of making some aura mist with moon water. The next one is not so fun. Tidy house, tidy mind. Clean your room, do your laundry, go through your inbox. This one isn't so much fun. It doesn't feel as aligned. It doesn't feel like you're engaging in a cleansing ritual. But it's a great time to do that from an energetic perspective. We want to really focus on what's happening in the cosmos to see how best to make decisions about the kind of energetic work that we're practicing in our lives. So that can be really empowering. And it's a great way of starting fresh. Clearing and cleansing isn't always a romantic process. Much like all the work that we do here, it can be unglamorous and often uncomfortable. But you are allowing space for new energy to flow into your life. You can affirm this intention by repeating an affirmation as you clean and tidy. I clean the space for my future self, a gift through time and space, bestowed by me to me. When the future becomes the present, I will smile, knowing I was thinking of me and sending love virtually. Corners of the room are great places for energy to collect as well as dust. So this is a great time to cleanse and clear behind furniture and in those hard to reach places, and also physically clean them as well. And finally, move your body. Yoga, hiking, dancing, running, swimming, whatever you're able to do. This is a great time to get some flow happening through your body. Yoga is great for flow, getting movement into all the nooks and crannies, the joints, ligaments, muscles that are often underengaged. Walking and hiking, being enveloped in nature. This is a very powerful practice during the full moon, when we are lifting our gazes up to that beautiful, brimming beacon in the sky. It helps to connect us to the earth beneath us during a time that can get pretty heady, pretty internal. Can be helpful to lift our gaze, turn outward. And it's hard to be in nature and not feel grateful. It's important to ground ourselves in the here and now, to encourage our roots to sink firmly into the earth. While our attention may be focused above, this can be a wonderful time to bring awareness to what's beneath as well. And then swimming and water sports like paddleboarding or whatever you're able to do, and taking a bath or getting in a hot tub. The moon is associated with the elemental properties of water. So what could be more in alignment than submerging yourself in water? I think it's one of my favorite ways of honoring my connection to the moon. And if you can't go swimming, like I said, take a bath or a shower. That's definitely the next best thing. This next one isn't always available to everybody, but the way that I like to close my practice for the full moon is to go to the beach. I'm very lucky to live near the beach here, but very soon I won't be. But go to the beach and write in the sand some of the things that I'd like to offer up to be cleared right on the shoreline. And then I like to stand as I'm watching the sunset, and then I like to watch as the waves clear the sand of the things I've written. There's something incredibly visceral, I don't know, about that. It's just like you're actually watching the things that you'd like to clear wash away. There are other ways of doing things like this. You can write things down on a piece of paper, and then you can clear that paper in smoke. You can write things if you have any plot of earth, whether that's yours or in a park or wherever you're able to be. Write things in the soil and the dirt and the earth, and then just wipe it clean, so you can kind of do the job of Mother Nature there. But that can be a great way of allowing and really putting that energy out there to be cleared and cleansed. And then lastly, meditation. Closing with meditation, especially a gratitude meditation. As we're releasing so much, it can be so helpful to turn inward before the sun sets on the day and just remind yourself of all the things for which you are grateful during a reflection that could have come up. But then really sealing the day, sealing the practice. I like to do this before falling asleep. And then I usually do a gratitude practice in the morning, but just for myself. What am I truly grateful for? And that can be a really beautiful way of reminding the energy that we're not just clearing the reason that we're clearing is to make more space for things like this. People that bring us joy, activities that make us feel empowered, using our voice. So it's a balance between clearing and appreciating what we do have, finding that balance, and then also doing our best to correct anything that we want to do differently in the future. So this is sort of a different video for me, kind of a sit down and chat video. But I wanted to make something like this for you. We've kind of had conversations about this during our live streams. And I wanted to just kind of show you a little bit more detail what I do generally. It's going to be different depending on the specific full moon and the energy of that full moon. But these are generally just some little things that I like to engage in, and hopefully they're helpful to you to sort of see how I integrate this practice into my personal life. Well, I'm sending you so much love and support on whatever full moon you are moving through, or if you're just watching this randomly, then I'm sending you tons of love and support. And until I see you again, be so, so well. I've just finished making these new healing boxes. They come with these massive Tibetan incense cones, which I love. Handmade crystal embedded tea candles. Some anointing oil. And some gemstones and crystals. If you'd like to check them out, I've left a link in the description box. I put so much love into each of them, so I hope you enjoy. Sweet dreams. Can you come up on the pillow? She just wants cuddles. Come on, Mama. For today's video, I just wanted to do a little chakra activation. And just doing a little bit of balancing and aligning. But this is a new kind of video for me. I usually speak directly to the collective instead of the individual, so that always happens when I'm trying to do it like up here. Perspective. Maybe your perspective on things is a little clouded at the moment. I'm not sure if that resonates with you, but that's what I'm getting here. I love metallic sounds. There's like clicky clacky sounds. But it does have kind of a funny smell. I'm not gonna lie, when I first used it I was like, what is that? But amethyst is a really great spiritually aligned stone. It can help with clarity, mental fog, really helps us see soberly. Invite some more mindfulness and some of this energy work that we've been engaging in.